Good morning, folks. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to the definition of anarchy. I'm Snapzilla Gorilla. So, today I want to talk about head movement, okay? I talked about head movement before, but I want to go in a little bit more in depth on how to really make head movement work for you and not against you, okay? So, when the typical fighter, when they perform head movement, remember, you got to keep your elbows down, straight up and down, right? Me, I like to keep my hands ahead of me so I can use them, right? Use them as a distraction, use them to counter, use them to parry, but that's another video. So if I'm here and I'm using my head movement, my head movement's here, I'm moving my head, but my feet are moving too. And my hips are moving as if I'm throwing a punch, right? Right? I'm here, boom, 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 boom. You see the rhythm? Bam. So can anybody point out the fatal flaw in that type of movement, that specific type of movement in regards to head movement? Well, it's the rhythm, right? If I'm just doing this, right? Even if I'm moving here or moving here, see, I'm moving here, boom. If I'm moving here, boom, I still have a rhythm. So a keen fighter, an accurate fighter, smart fighter, could time my movement with their strike. So they're pacing me out. They're looking at me. They're seeing me do all this. And let's say, for instance, they decide to fake a jab, but they're not really faking the jab. They're going to reach out to you with that jab further than with the feint, because the feint, I'm just like this, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm gonna reach my hand out further to what? As you come this way, I'm swatting your hand down. Swat your hand down, boom, come with a hook with that same hand. Swat, bam, right? So if someone could time it perfectly, right? If you just do this, right? Even with the leg work, boom, right? So even with the right hand, right? I can swat down over here as you come this way. Swat, bam, right? I can use my jab to swat the other side down, come over with that overhand right, bam. And that could be a problem. So you don't want to necessarily just do that. You want to switch it up. You want to be unpredictable with your head movement, right? So, like, right, looks crazy, right? See, I looked out like I was coming this way, and then I came back this way. Or I looked like coming this way. See, kind of herky jerky. Might drop some squats in there, right? Roll under, bam. Use my footwork to move. Really get it. See, you see how it could be a lot more difficult to time my head movement so that you can connect? Pardon me. I just got through doing an intense leg workout after some boxing drills. So anyway, so you kind of want to use that herky jerky movement, see? And the head movement, this is what helps you dodge a punch, right? Because really, you can see the punch coming, but 9 times out of 10, if you're just standing there and your head's not moving already, like if I'm just like this, right? And my head's not moving already as the punches are coming, it's going to be a lot harder for me to dodge that punch. Because by the time he throws it, it takes me a split second to notice that it's coming toward me, especially if they're punching correctly. If they're punching correctly, they're coming straight out. It's less perceptible if my elbows aren't flaring out or anything like that. That's what you don't want. You don't want your elbows to flare out like this. See? And that's what the problem I had with Krav Maga, because in Krav Maga, they want you to punch like this, right? I took Krav Maga for a minute. The problem I had with their punches is it was flared, right? It was telegraphed. So if a person is punching properly, right, then it's coming straight out, right? It's less perceptible to see that punch coming. It's also less, it's harder to judge distance when that person is punching straight out, right? They're punching properly. So even sometimes you can punch like this, right? That's even less perceptible because you're here. It's just less perceptible if it's coming full speed. See that? See? If I'm coming full speed, see? It's less perceptible. But if my head is already moving, if your head is already moving, you might catch it at the last half of a millisecond and still get out the way, right? You can still slip. And that's why you don't want to slip too far. When you're slipping, you want to barely be out the way. You want it to barely graze your ear, if that. You might get a centimeter off the ear, but bam, instead of moving like this, it's harder to judge where my head's going to be when they line up a punch. And I can still get my head out the way when they're throwing punches. Now, typically, when you slip, you want to slip away from the other weapon, but that's not always possible. So if you find yourself slipping inside, right, it's toward the other weapon, you make sure you keep your hand up, right, and you might want to roll, right? If you slip or duck, slip, duck, because you realized that you went toward their other weapon and they might come with something. So you might want to duck down, keep your hands tight, keep your elbows tight in, because they might throw a body shot, right? So you want to be able to stave that off, okay? So head movement is very important, but you don't want it to be so rhythmic, right? So metronomic that a person can just catch you, swat your glove down or swat your hand down, bam, and come in and all that. So you want to just be, I know it looks crazy, but you see, you can't really time it. And this is why Tyson Fury uses that method a lot. He's like this, right? With that first Deontay fight, his hands down here. He's doing all this. And there's no way, because Deontay has to get his left hand has to touch the target or be right where the target is when he throws his right for him to land it accurately. So in order to avoid that or to ruin that ability, Tyson Fury did the herky-jerky movement. So when he landed the jab, he was over here. So he missed a lot, right? And plus he was loading up with his right hand. So obviously, right? He was telegraphing with his right hand. It was absolutely ridiculous. But those are my tips. And y'all hit me up in the comment section if you guys want more tips like that. Like I said, herky-jerky, you don't want to be so, go back sometimes, right? Use that head movement, right? Use that footwork, duck, back. If they're throwing a body shot, you want to get out the way, man. You just want to make your head as little a target. You want to make your whole body a small target. So that's why you're moving. That's why footwork is so important. The footwork will get you out of the way. You don't want to just have to lean back, right? Or go like this. Or even just, see, even when you are blocking punches, you're absorbing the power of that punch. And it's going to do some damage, right? So if I notice somebody's clenching, somebody's covering up all the time, right? I will start to hit their arms, hit their shoulders, start going for body shots. But if they're clenching and they're really good at, covering the body shots, I'm going to start wailing on those arms. That'll get the arms tired. And then the hands start to come down throughout the fight. So me, I like to keep my hands relaxed. I don't necessarily like covering because, like I said, I can absorb. I'd rather get out the way or parry or use my hands. See, when using your hands, that'll also make it more difficult to land, for your opponent to land, because the hands are there, distracting. And some fighters might look at the hands when they're fighting. You really don't want to do that. I don't like to do it. Some guys like to look at the hands, especially if you're just doing boxing. But I like to look at the whole picture. Like, I like to see everything, not look at one thing. I like to see everything so I can observe, pardon me. Maybe they're going to throw a kick. Maybe they're going to throw a knee, right? So, maybe they're going to throw an elbow, right? Right? So I like to look at everything. I like to see everything so that when something moves or if there's an anomaly in the big picture, I can react to it, but not overreact, because you have the danger of feints, falling for feints and whatnot. So you really want to be sharp. You really want to pay attention to what's going on in your environment, period, just in life and with your opponent. So, like I said, herky-jerky movements, add some variations in your footwork. Get your footwork up, stay light on your feet. Herky-jerky, right? Looks crazy, right? It doesn't look as, cool as this, right? This movement, right? And that's okay if, but once, if you can see that they're trying to time your head movement, but as you go later into the fight, as you get tired, you're not going to be as, sharp. You're not going to be as reactionary, right? You're not going to react as sharply. So that's why if you do this, it really helps. And it doesn't take that much energy. It doesn't really take as much energy, right? It's just small movements, and I'm relaxed, right? I'm not tense, right? You stay relaxed. You might be able to, swap with your hands. If you're in a street fight, you can block with this movement here, but you really want to be out of the way. You don't really want to get touched at all by a punch. Not me. That's how I train. So anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section, and let me know if you want to see more videos like this. All right, peace out.